The following program contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and the girls, welcome to Ox After Dark, the late night great night show where Classy Thomas and Lane the Midnight Collector talk about our dreams, our lives, our trials, our tribulations, and more. Thank you guys for tuning in. Lane does have to get going, I think about 45 minutes in, so we'll be sure to keep an eye on the time such that Lane can enjoy his full After Dark experience. Before I share my crazy week, Thomas, tell me how your weekend and your week has been so far.
The weekend was pretty good. Week started out pretty bad. Not I'm not gonna say bad. It started out very stressful. Yeah, because I got a letter in the mail that said that I'm with Blue Cross Blue Shield here for my health insurance, and they sent me a letter saying that your health insurance has been terminated as of June 30th. And I
What?
was like, what? So of course, I got that late on Monday when the mail came. So of course, I was on the phone between the marketplace and Blue Cross Blue Shield, still working it out. And I said, "How are you?" I said, I sent you all the information that qualified me back in January during open enrollment. So nothing has changed on my end. So how are you doing that? So they said, "Oh well, we're going to put an escalation in there," and they said it should probably take no more than 30 days. I said, 30 days? It's going to take you 30 days to fix a problem that you guys created? What in the hell? So I have just been sitting in limbo right now. I called back and raised a big stink, and so they said they did an escalation and said put it priority. So we'll see if they do what they're
So
supposed to do. But I'm really
that'll
curious
be
to find.
another week.
Say
So
what?
like in 7, 10 days from now, then they should have someone looking at it to see, I guess we have to next escalate it to Super Deluxe Special Edition.
Yeah, I'm telling you. So I'm gonna have to get on them. But yeah. But other than that, it's just been a standard week. Nothing really special. Nothing extra happening. But yeah, that's the only thing I've been dealing with is being on the phone with that. It kind of interrupted my app. I actually finished filming my partial collection tour, and I was planning on doing some editing as yeah. So it kind of interrupted that process, and I wanted to whittle it down because I come to find out that I have the gift of gab evidently, because when I started talking about those figures,
Well, it sounded like
finally
you were
I
probably
did.
trying to get ready on your video of the, you know, of the health, healthcare.gov
Yeah.
and how awful it is. And you had a nice rant video probably starting to formulate in your head.
You're right about that. And if they have an upload section on there, I might actually have to film something and send it in and send a scathing video thing. Of course, I'll probably wind up mixing that up with my collection tour, and they'll say, "Why in the world is this guy send his hot toys over
Like
here?"
he
But
doesn't have any money. He's saying he just making and he sent his like, and this is like the my wall that has like that I have insurance on for like $25,000 on my Wonderful Collectibles, and that's going to be like. So this guy is having problems paying his insurance right now, or getting canceled. Okay,
which is really funny because actually, when I looked at my payment history, I mean, I made all the payments up to
yeah,
date. They did not take out the July payment because they canceled it on. It was supposed to be paid on July 1st. They canceled the policy on June 30th, but they didn't notify me well beforehand. So I get that they send a letter out June 30th. I didn't get it until July 10th. So of course I went on a big rant on there. I said, "Listen, you cancel it, you don't tell me. You send me a letter stating that you canceled the policy on June 30th. You sent it out June 30th, but I don't get it until July 10th. This sounds like it's a problem with you guys and not me. So what is going on?" So yeah, it's been crazy, but when I was back to what I was saying about the thing. All right, I only did 3 shelves. I have 3 matcha cases that are fairly big, and the 3 of those shelves are full. I spent 45 minutes just on 3 shelves. So if I ever get all my stuff out, it might be one of those ones where I might have to have a spot in there for an intermission or something like that.
Wow, the bathroom break.
Oh man, but yeah, that's all I've been doing this week so far.
There you go. Lane, how's your week been?
It was rolling along fine until like 2 hours ago, where I read the absolute dumbest ending to a comic book I have ever read in my entire life, and this is over 30 years. I sent it to Ben. I literally took a picture of the last 2 pages that was the end of the story. I sent him to Ben earlier this evening, and he laughed. He's like, "That's the end?" I'm like, "Yes."
What book was it?
It was a miniseries end for Rogue and Gambit, which is
okay,
and so a main Marvel series.
Yeah.
The quote ending to the story, or in the last 2 pages that ends the entire series, is 2 freaking splash page of Gambit's gumbo recipe. It's literally 2 pages of made up, artist drawn, like I don't even, maybe it's a real one, I don't know, but it's like Gambit's gumbo and how to make his gumbo. That was the last 2 pages of a comic that I spent $4 on.
Well, hey, now you got a recipe.
Recipe. Yeah. People buy cookbooks.
Might be pretty good. Have a party.
Yeah.
That was dude. I was like practically, like I almost tore my comic in half after I read that, because I'm like, what the? If I needed an encapsulation of anything that is wrong with modern writers on comics, where everybody complains, no one fights villains. Villains aren't just evil. Villains have to be redeemed. Villains can't be psychotic maniacs that murder people so the heroes look heroic defeating them. Or they're not arrogant a-holes like Dr. Doom, who's not doing good things. He's trying to oppress, conquer the world, or, get some magical fiddly device will let him murder Reed Richards. That's what villains are for. They're not supposed to be good guys. That's like, I don't know if any of you guys saw that trailer for Kraven. The Kraven movie come from Sony?
Yeah.
The villain? Okay. Kraven doesn't hunt animals. He hunts poachers in the movie to make him an anti-hero. I'm like, no, Kraven is a murdering bastard who is killed like every animal on Earth. He's a hunter of animals. 4-legged, 2-legged, pretty, not pretty, deadly. That's what he is. That's why he has the lion main thing he wears in his costume. But where people also in comics spend time eating food and talking to each other, not fighting villains and not heroes looking heroic and not being aspirational. I'm not meaning to get it on a thing, but that was like an encapsulation of everything that I can't stand with some modern comics, not understanding that comics is a mostly male-centric medium, which is about heroic male figures, heroic female figures, and it just was. And also, it didn't help. Rogue did something completely terrible in the issue, which totally, other than she was degrading Gambit the entire miniseries and like telling him how awful he is and being insufferable. Which I was just like, this isn't how her character is at all. But okay, I went through it. But that 2 pages was like an encapsulation of everything that's wrong sometimes with modern storytelling. That makes me crazy. And I'm not claiming to be a great writer. I'm not something like that.
Wait, Fern wants that recipe, man. Fern said he wants it.
So
I'll literally post the 2 pages in our talent. Sorry. Anyway, I'm sorry, Zach.
You're good.
Karen, but
no, you're good.
It's just because I only read that in like maybe the last hour and a half or so. So it's like really in my brain that I was like, I spent $20 on that miniseries to get that. Now the story was kind of over, but that was, I guess, the yuck to the ending of the thing, which as you can tell, I was very much laughing at the end of it.
Yeah.
But other than that, actual life, things are going good, except it being 105 degrees and everything.
Oh,
Yep.
And it's kind of sucks that they changed my dress code at my work. That
Okay.
they just sprung on us on Monday.
what did it change to?
Well, we had a very dress casual for our department because we're not normally like meeting with people or we're out of the way, but they changed it because our department is connected to the clinic for my CRO, which is in San Antonio, down where Zach is and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And they have to look more normal business dress because they're interacting with, volunteers, stuff like that on a daily basis. But because our department falls under that, but we're actually in Austin, Texas, where my department with our computer systems and stuff, I now have to be in like full regular, like khakis, nice shoes. I know some people say, "Oh, that's tough" or whatever, but for years, like since I've been here, didn't have to do that for almost. I've been at the company for almost 8 years. This November, of like the week of Thanksgiving, will be 8 years or so, or even a little bit longer, middle of November. And I didn't have to do that, except for one time when we were going to change, they tried to move it, and there was such a negative response for employees. They backed off on it. But now, like, they're enforcing it. And so I had to change, and like, I had one pair of khaki pants. I had bought another pair when they sprung on us this the first time. So they said, like, Monday, you have to be dressed like this on Tuesday. No ifs, ands, or buts. Or there could be write-ups or other stuff. So I was like, and I had bought a couple pairs of, I'd spent like $120 on new khaki pants, like when they first tried to do this like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. And I got rid of one of them because I was getting rid of clothes. I'm like, well, not going to ever use this. So I got to go do it again this weekend. Sorry. Anyway,
You hate to see it.
Yeah. Anyway, how was your week, sir, Ben?
It's busy. We got Toy Mafia, Doc Smizzle, Bob Dylan, Mark Pearson, Filthy Yoda trying to use the ancient magic on me like I didn't. Like I wasn't there when it was written. How dare you? How dare you think you could get me with that, Filthy Yoda? Let's see here. Doc says, speaking of booty, I have a pile of hot toys I need to open up. Mysterio Iron Man just got here in time to be part of the Ecto 1 display. Mr. Musashi, love seeing your beautiful faces tonight. Equan, Burtis, Vintage Rebellion, Big Ol' Fern. I'm sick today. A lot of people thought I wasn't going to stream because I'm sick, but that's never really stopped me. I streamed when I had COVID. Streamed when I lost my voice. I like to stream. So
You're the big dog, man. You're the big dog.
Yeah. This weekend was wild, though. So, in addition to being sick, I was working on my shed this weekend, putting the first few boxes, or not like boxes, but like the tubs, I guess, in there. And consolidating, because when I moved, I had a bunch of stuff that just didn't fit in the house that I didn't want to throw away, and it's still just stuff that's lingering, following me around from place to place. I want to have space for the new office, but trying to make as much space and eliminate boxes as possible. While doing that, I threw my back out. And it wasn't like fully thrown out. So I used to be really fit, believe it or not. I used to be really fit. And I hurt my back really bad when I was like the last soccer game that I ever played. And I messed up one of the discs in my back. And so I wasn't able to really do all that hard running anymore. I also messed up my knee in that same game. And so part of that is why I am how I am, but I'm hoping to get more fit. But even with all this working out, the back is still just always in pain. So I tweaked it, and I was like, well, that's fun. So ended up stopping early. Now keep that in the back of your mind. One of our co-hosts, Chuck from Just Another Friday Night, he had purchased some 3D prints from a guy, and they were really detailed prints. It was the Namor, like the real intricate headdress, and like all the armor that he wears. It was a really expensive kit, but it arrived broken. One of the little chin pieces of armor was broken off the main headdress. And so when he got there, I was like, oh, I'm going to put my dogs outside, put them outside right before he got there. And we started working on the project. Everything was going good. We finished up pretty quickly. It was only about a 5 or 10 minute fix. And he had family that was like the next street over. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm pretty much done. Like, I'll show you my collection of my 3D printing stuff, and then if you gotta go, you gotta go. So my wife is like, where are the dogs at? And I'm like, what do you mean? I put them in the back. When I threw them on my back, I was like, I'm done. And I forgot to close the fence. I was going from the garage to the backyard to put the stuff in the shed. And I was like, well, the dogs got out. So
brother.
I have a cold, my back is thrown out, and my dogs I've been missing for an undetermined amount of time. Now, thankfully, they have air tags, but air tags don't really work like that at like really crazy distances. They kind of work, but they're also moving very like sporadically, so it's not super accurate. So in a panic, I'm like, okay, I gotta get Chuck out of here because he's not really gonna help. His family's already here. Like, I'm like, all right, Chuck, gotta go. Bye. Run out the door. I accidentally grabbed my keys when I ran out the door. It's like I'm gonna go drive after them, but then I'm thinking, well, they're probably in the creek, so I can't drive in the creek. And so I was like, I'm gonna start jogging up the street because I can see where both of them are on the little app, right? And they're only about like 0.75 miles away. So I basically start like, not really sprinting, but jogging with my thrown out back and my cold. But I will say, this working out stuff, it's not worthless. I was way more fit. We had way more stamina than I would have had I not been working out. So by the time I'm looking for these dogs, it's hot as shit. It's like 1 or 2 p.m. The sun is right above me. And I can't see anything on my phone. Like, I have an older phone, and it really sucks. And I can't even, like, see the screen. I have to, like, basically, like, hop between shade to, like, see where they're at. And then all of a sudden, both of them stop updating on their tags. Like, they're just not moving. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I've seen a dog get hit by a car before. I don't want my dogs to be hit by cars. And I'm worrying, and my wife is like, freaking out. And then she's like, okay, well, I'm going to go and get you, and we're going to go look together in a car. But I have my keys with me, and we have a one car, where the cars have to park behind each other, like a one wide, I guess, driveway.
So you were blocking
and my car's
her
behind.
in.
I was blocking her in, and I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, look, I don't care if you need to like break my car to like get out. You need to get your ass in your car and like find a way to turn it around and get out here, because by this point, the tag was showing that one of my dogs was almost like at the main street, which is like a really busy like 5 or 6 lane road.
Yeah.
And also, unfortunately, they had split up. So both dogs were now split up. So I'm like going through this creek like a wild. Like, I'm not even really wearing stuff that you should be wearing to be doing any of this. Like, I'm wearing like gym shorts and like, like sandals. Like, I'm just like, I was just chilling at home and this happened, and I ran out the door. And thankfully, one of the air tags updated, and it said the dog was back at home. So I was like, if you're still at home, like, check the backyard right now, because it says that one of our dogs is home. Boom, one of the dogs is home, grabs her ass, puts her inside. The next dog, she was at an address, and it says 40 minutes ago. So I go to the address, and I'm like, hey, I'm so sorry. Like, I hate to bother you, but have you guys seen my dog? Like, my dog was supposed to be either here, and she hasn't moved in like 40 minutes. And so the guy's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'll just double check my yard, but I don't think I've seen, like, your dog, I don't think is here. And so I'm like, okay, like, I figured as much, but I just want to, double check. So at this point, I'm like, I need to start jogging back home to to get my car at this point. Like, The dog has not been seen in 40 minutes on this thing, and also like I just feel that people are very unhelpful in a crisis. Like, and I understand, right? Like if some random stranger's trying to wave you down in the street, I think with context, I think I would stop. Like, you know, I had two leashes in my hand. I'm like drenched in sweat trying to find these animals, and I yeah, no one. Yeah, I got the reference, Equan, but I'm in the middle of the story, and so no one's willing to help. Like I'm like trying to flag people down. Like, hey, have you seen this dog? Like the one nice guy was the only exclusion, and so I'm like sprinting back home. Again, this is about 0.75. I'm at this point about a mile from my house. So I'm like sprinting back home. And I say sprinting, it's like a very slow jog because I'm fat and my knees hurt, my back is thrown out, and I have a cold. But I make it home like in record time, and by the grace of God, by some miracle, I have like I don't want to pull up a map because I don't want to show my address, but I see my dog
Wise
like
thing.
way down like this alley, and I start calling her, and she starts coming. And this car is like coming around this blind corner, and I have to like basically stop in the middle of the street and like stop this car from hitting my dog. And then my dog, I get her inside and she's fine. Now, what had happened was, let me see if I can. Let me see here. The best way I can describe is they both got out through the front gate, took a left, and walked to that one house where they were where the dog stopped updating 40 minutes before. One of my dogs gets out pretty often. She gets out like once every other 2 or 3 months, but she'll go like on a 2-minute walk and then come back and jump in the yard. She's a real fucking pain in the ass. But she jumps the fence, and we can't afford like a bigger fence, so like we're trying to figure out how to stop her from doing that.
How tall is your fence?
It's 5 feet, but she has like
yeah,
fucking
wow.
springs for legs. So there's that. So when they split at the next closest, not the closest, but the next closest. I don't know what you call it, but it's like a bridge where you could get into the creek. The one that knows how to get home from the creek, because she goes down that creek, took a left and went down that creek, and the other one took a right. They split up. That was like what I had started to see on the map. And when I thought she was going to the main street, I guess she had tried to go to the main street and then decided to go back down the creek towards our house. The other dog went all the way around this neighborhood, basically until she found another alley, which I guess she might have thought was a creek, and then ran straight, and it just happened to be the creek, the alley that leads right in front of our house. So we found both of them. Both of their paws were like almost blistered because it was like hot asphalt. Both of them were like scratched to shit, and they were like panting and like hyperventilating, and it was awful. Now, I'll show you guys the video. So once we kind of like got back and, you know, we're like everyone's safe, I was like, well, let me start analyzing what happened. So they got out the front yard about an hour before my friend got there, before Chuck got there. So it was like right after I threw my bag out. And so they actually waited in front of the house for about 25 minutes before they left. And like, here's them just hanging out in the front, like, all right, like, what's the deal? Like, let us in. I mean, they were pretty good for a little while. And then they're like, nah, fuck it, we're gonna book it. and then they left. But the thing that really bothers me, though, is the people in front of me were outside for like 10 minutes while our dogs were just in the street in front of our house, and they didn't say anything. It just seems odd. I don't know. I'm not going to fault them. I never really talked to those people. But thankfully, we found them, and it was just a... You know, like I said, I've seen a dog that's been hit by a car before. One of the most awful things that you can see. And I've also lost a dog way too early. Had to put them down, you know, just because of a medical emergency, and really wasn't prepared to do either of those things. So, fortunately, the story does have a good story. Yeah, Doc, I need a response facility. But it was awful. But I will say, working out, I think has been really. I don't think I would have found them if I hadn't worked out, because I think from running into the creek, the one that was in the creek heard us calling them and then ran back to the house, and the other one heard me running on the way back calling her, and I think that's why she bolted down that alley. So, yeah, it's just wild how fast your life and the situations can change, because I remember that morning I was playing with my dog, and every morning when I wake up, she'll like jump next to me on the bed and then give me like this really wet kiss and like lay on me and then like just won't stop. But I wasn't really in the mood because I felt sick, and so I kind of was a little mean to her, and I was like, get off, like, just not like the best. And I was like, man, I really hope that she comes home today. And it was really sad because when we found her, she was like a stray, like a street dog. And I don't know, my daughter really loves that. Like, she loves both the dogs, but that's like, her and that dog hang out all the time. That was the one that was missing the longest. And
is that the younger of the two?
Sad. Yeah, the younger of the two. Mm-hmm. The one that didn't go back down the creek. So thankfully everyone's okay. My back is still, like, I've been working out, but it's been very, like, painful.
Yeah. Do you ever go to a chiropractor?
I've always wanted to, but I haven't, to be honest. This is more just like a funds thing. I should do that for sure. Because
I have lower back. As a matter of fact, I have in my lumbar spine. I recently found out that I had arthritis, and then I have two discs. One of them is completely worn away, and so the two spine bones fused together, and then the other one is almost completely worn away. And what was happening is that back in around October, November, I was having these terrible, terrible back pains. And evidently what was happening was that the area where it was fused was pinching the nerve. And it was the worst pain I ever had to do. And since then I've been seeing a chiropractor, and it has really been helping. As a matter of fact, I've been, he taught me how to do some stretches. So I've been doing that, which really, really helps. But man, I tell you what, I swear by a good chiropractor, somebody who really is kind of personalizing your care plan, not one of those generic ones. But man, it really does help.
Yeah, I might have to look into that. Mr. Musashi, that's love for your dog right there. Messed up back, still hobbling to find their loved one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was terrible. Like I said, it really brought like a lot of emotions when we found them because I don't think I've talked about this on the show, but we had a dog. His name was Apollo, and I think he was 5. And when he was 3, before Vivi was born, he started going blind. Mm-hmm. And we couldn't figure out why. And he started having some seizures, and we just couldn't figure out why. Did like basically as much as we could without like doing like a $3,000 MRI. It was like $3,000 or $6,000. We just didn't have the money. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But he slowly went like fully blind. I think at first he was just like blind in one eye, then blind in the next eye. And I remember it was my wife's birthday, and we took her out to eat. And when we came back, he was having a really bad seizure. Took him to the vet, and they just, they weren't able to stop the seizure. And they're like, we've already given him like almost a 1.5, the most medicine we can give him for his size. Like, we can try to keep dosing him, but like we're just not able to break the seizure. And his temperature is just, ridiculous. So we had to put him down. So just thinking of all that stuff, it just, I don't know, really, really freaked out the anxiety. So, thankfully everything was all right with that. But I know yesterday we talked about the comic scammer going to court today.
Oh, and yeah. So, what's the word on that?
So he didn't show up to court today. The sheriff's office said they weren't able to serve him. They weren't able to locate him. So the judge pushed the court date back to, I think it's August 2nd. But on his Instagram, because apparently he has nothing better to do, he had posted that that he has talked to the vice president of CGC and the council, and they have everyone's spreadsheet of who claimed to have books with them, and they're getting those books back. So obviously we were very upset by that, because that's not necessarily what CGC had told us, nor is that really appropriate. And so I was like, fuck it. I called CGC. They're like, we're not, I don't know why I said that, but I posted it on the CGC forum. And Mike, who's the administrator and the liaison between the community and CGC, is like, we will not be sending this person any books. Your claim form with us will lead you to receiving your books directly from us, provided the proof is shown you're entitled to said books. What this person has said is not true. So it's funny. We have so much people in the area that are in our group, and they're like, it's funny, we saw him at Planet Fitness this morning. We're pretty sure we saw him this morning when he was supposed to be at court. So we'll see if he can't get served to make it to court. Mr. Musashi says, I had that kind of medical emergency with my dog in January. Now he's just tapering off meds. Not knowing what's happening causes so much anxiety. I paid over $20,000 for tests, and we were solved. I'm really happy for that, man. That's actually, I remember you had mentioned that, Mr. Musashi. We were really worried about your dog. Wellington says, try getting a deep tissue back massage first to see if it's a muscular problem versus an alignment problem that a chiropractor might help you out with. Go to a happy ending massage place. 3D printing wise, Fern found some really nice sculpts, so I've been I'll address this comment in 2 seconds, Mr. Musashi. But Fern found some great portraits, and so he asked me to print some for him, so I was like, I'm going to paint one too. This is Keaton. Let me see if I can't zoom in a little bit. Let's see. It's almost done.
Nice.
Yeah, that's really good. You know, it's really funny when you first showed it, and I'm nearsighted. I could actually see it, and I was like, man, that is really.
So there's that.
You did a good. You printed that and painted it.
Yeah, this is Heath Ledger Joker. This is just a print. I'm not gonna paint this one because I don't really feel like painting that. But he had found a bunch of like McFarlane. These are scaled for McFarlane. I imagine you could probably use them on other company stuff. Mm-hmm. But I was like, yeah. He had ordered a bunch of sculpts, and I was like, I'll just paint one for him because he sent me a real nice birthday gift. Mr. Musashi said, I would briefly come in to chat on CW, and your concern over my dog, Zach, meant so much. I was so stressed at the time. You guys kept me from losing my mind. Thanks, bro. That really does mean a lot. I'm a dog dad, my friend, so I totally understand it, and you know, I hope that you have a better resolution than I had. It was the hardest thing I think that I've ever had to do to make that decision, and I still get like really like just in tears over it all the time. Even, you know, this was God, we got him in 2012. This is probably 2017 because I remember Vivi was still a baby when we put him down, and I still get really emotional about it all the time. Yeah. One more toy update. I've been hating this figure for so long, the Figuarts Batman, and finally, because of the cape, it comes with this weird cape. It's like half plastic, half fabric, and it just looks awful.
Oh, so the top part is a plastic part that fits on the shoulder. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I custom made a cape, and I thought it turned out really good, but it wasn't the right material. And the portrait needed a lot of work. But Muff Toys, they make a cape. It's the right material, the leather on the back, and then sort of like a satin on the inside. And it comes with 2 portraits. Now, I have 2 of these figures, but I only have 1 cape. Fortunately, 1/6 Kit has the cape, and we have a code with Kit, and so I haven't placed an order with them since we got the code. So I got the cape for like $13 ship. It was awesome. Might have been $15 ship, but it's awesome. So I can't wait to upgrade my second one. because he comes with, let's see here, all over the place.
That's a good looking cape.
He comes with an unmasked portrait, which looks fucking awesome. It's like a mini Hot Toys.
Wow, that's a good paint job too. Looks good.
I know, Fern. Don't expect a paint job like this, bro. I'm not that talented. Yeah, so
Well,
it's. Go ahead, Lane.
that's good. Well, so I had something as I had mentioned to show tonight.
Hell yeah, let's look at this, Lane. Do you have another guest that you're bringing on the show?
No.
How dare you?
But
Oh shit.
so I picked. No, this is not going to be a full unboxing, guys. So this is so you guys can kind of, if you've been considering this, because
You got my
Can be.
mouth drooling.
Off the Rack
man.
still has this guy in stock, and obviously he's in stock, I think, now also at Sideshow. But this is the Moon Knight figure. He just came into my shop yesterday. Well, we were talking about it. I just did not get into it because I had other things to rant about on my mind. So my LCS got this on yesterday.
Mhm.
So I got in my email saying, "Hey, let me know. Hey, let you know this came in." Also, it included, however, and I went, "Uh-oh, what happened?" I unfortunately I went into autopilot mode and opened up the box and reviewed to make sure nothing was damaged for the item.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Huh?" Because they normally do that for statues and stuff. If they get them, they open them to review them to make sure they're not broken. But
Right.
This is a hot toy figure, not a statue. So I was like, "What? Why?" But so I wasn't super crazy about that. I think they just opened the shipping box though. They resealed it. At least that's what I'm hoping. I haven't looked totally to see if any of the seals are broken or they peeled them off. He said he put everything back so it was like it was before. So I'm not going to make a big deal about it or anything, but I was a little bit like, yeah, no. I was like, with my Hot Toys, man, please don't open this in the future.
Yeah.
If there's a problem, I will bring it back to you and make you aware. So I wanted to show, because this Moon Knight box, I think is freaking awesome.
I mean,
It
can we
is.
do a full unboxing? Because I'm totally down. I mean, it
Yeah,
seems
I
like
wanna
you're,
see this
you're
thing.
set up already.
Well, the thing is, I'm not going to be able to stay for a full thing here.
Oh.
Oh, we
But-
could just do it really fast, though. I mean,
I know.
mini.
Well,
Just a quickie.
I was going to let people see stuff and everything here.
Oh, okay.
And then,
Yeah.
because I had a thing I wanted to offer, because a lot of times people come to After Dark. There's
Yeah.
a hardcore audience who will also be on unboxing. So I want to offer you guys
There you go.
something here. So just to kind of give you guys this more almost like a preview in some ways.
Yeah, tease us, Lane. Tease us.
Yeah. So here's the box, everything. Obviously, you can see this is a really neat
Nice.
looking like cover thing.
I actually really like
And it's not going to have. I like the Star Wars one where they show pictures, like say that Fennec Shan with the actual figures on it. But this is one of the times that I like about the Marvel ones. Sometimes they have a little bit more unique depending on the show or movie.
Hey Lane, is that that little okay? I was wondering, is that round part on the
that. Is it
on the front,
removable?
or
No,
is
this
it?
is what I want you. This is the coolest part, guys. So you remember the dot. Now you may not remember because obviously the show was on quite a while ago for
Uh-huh.
Moon Knight over a year ago.
I'm
but
so excited about what's about to happen.
but the it's not the easiest thing to move, but actually the outer dial here and everything you can
Look at
actually
that.
move and stuff
Oh.
around and everything. So it's a little neat little thing.
And it's the one on top. Is it domed like a convex, or is it flat? Because it looks.
no, it's here. So if you can kind of see right there.
Oh, okay. Because it looks like it's convex.
I like
They
it.
did they did a good job on that.
This part does not move. Like the top
Okay.
circle does not, but this one underneath that, it's really cool.
That's
like
a
it-
nice box.
It fits
I like
the
it.
thing for Moon Knight. Nice thing is here is because of the colorations of Moon Knight, it's very easy to actually see him actually in the box here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I took a look. I took off the top just to see here. So as you can see, a lot, pretty much except for the big the unfortunately very cheap moon background, which is made out of like
Premium cardboard.
It's a cardboard.
Premium
I don't
cardboard.
even know if
Lane.
it's that. I don't even know if it's premium cardboard. But as you can see, Moon Knight here, he comes with obviously a bunch of different hands. He actually comes with a number of hands for once. Unlike say that Doc Brown, who got like 4, the Back to the Future 3 one. But I think he's really good. The coolest thing. So I am. Let me see here. Yeah, so I can confirm. See, he was open because that's open. So I had not taken him out. So I'm not going to unbox the full thing, but I want you guys kind of be able to just see him. I think this would be cool because this is. I know actually a figure a lot of people have found. We've had a lot of good figures recently. You know. Like the Hot Toys releases, they've done a very good job. And they're all not the same. You know, some of them are very different. It's not just all the human facial sculpts, right? You know, that's like Carnage or Venom, you know, in the last few months. Those for being giant monsters and stuff look really cool. So here's him. He's actually, as you can see here, the extra bottom piece and everything is that takes up that entire thing. So I think, let's see here.
Well, you mean the premium cardboard takes up all that space? Oh man!
Normal
Okay.
cardboard would be about half that.
Yeah.
Thomas, this is premium cardboard. Don't forget, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might be tempted. when I
That's
get
the only
mine.
thing this guy has I don't like is the big ass stupid. I hate these pieces
Yeah.
for the passion.
Well, you know, this cardboard though, you could actually take that and get some clear resin, and treat the top and the back of it with clear resin to kind of stiffen it a little bit.
Ooh, I actually have a story about clear resin in a bit, Thomas.
Really? Oh, I want to hear it.
Yeah.
Man, he looks good.
So here, guys, so you guys can get a better look at him. And if you have not seen this one, guys, the headpiece here is removable. It has a lighting, so the eyes will light up. They're supposed to be pretty bright. Obviously, I figured you guys figured that's what the batteries are for. Here are his glaives and stuff, the moon glaive, crescent glaives. You can see here. Let me see if I can get it to focus. You guys can kind of see how there's like
Yeah, it's engraved. Those
Engraved
are
on all of
hieroglyphs.
yeah. And then they've got a few different sets. Those are smaller ones that I think I'll show you guys here. Like this hand right here. I think these ones are meant for those where you can see kind of the small indentations.
Oh, and then you can put them inside those little in between the knuckles.
Yeah, they're supposed to fall off easily, at least according to Justin's review.
Okay.
This is the larger ones. So these are going to be the bigger crescent glaives that can go into, I think more this one, maybe? I think maybe this one. But dude, he looks cool, man. Like,
Yes,
he looks
does.
super cool.
Man, that's nice.
So you can get kind of the full. So this is fully sculpted. You know, it's not fabric or anything. So that's going to limit his head movement. I guess the one thing they've said a little bit and would show it is that there is a little bit when you move the head, a little separation there. Obviously, this is a mix of fabric and the suit here. He looks. I guess you may have talked about this a little bit, Zach, already. Is that some people had commented that his suit, like the bottom part here, the
boots, they're too brown. Yeah.
Or he looks too clean in some parts where it looks like he probably should be a little bit more sandy.
Yeah.
And stuff. You know, he's covering the Tusken Raider effect a little bit.
Yeah. I'd call it the laundromat effect. It's like just fresh out the laundromat.
But look there, just even if we can focus a little bit.
Oh,
Just
you all didn't know that Moon Knight repels dust?
What?
That's one of his superpowers. He
As you can
repels
see,
dust.
He's got the
Lane,
highlighters. Yeah.
Equan wants to know if you're getting the Bark Speeder and Appo that's being released supposedly.
Oh,
today.
is that the one that Iquan you've heard? Because I heard both of them were supposed to maybe be coming. Yeah, I've got Commander Appo. I got the Appo and the speeder bike. He's already been paid off for over like
An
a year.
Appo a day.
Yeah, but look, I really like they have the the hieroglyphs, everything on the chest piece there. I think that's supposed to limit the movement a little bit of the chest because it's like a solid piece. I just think he looks really cool. Like this, I mean, obviously I haven't got him out a really funky one, but I've heard obviously the all-star for this is that cape. This cape is supposed to be amazing for everything I've seen. Like it's got 4 different wires in it that you can maneuver it and stuff. So that cape, I guess, is supposed to be the big all-star. You can pose it like crazy. Because that's one thing you might remember, Zach, when I unboxed Scarlet Witch. I really like, for WandaVision version, I like the cape for that one wasn't trash like it was for both of the Vision figures. Those things are 2 of the worst capes I've ever seen. But like this is cool. So I think this guy looks like a very cool release, but I don't want to take him out and mess around with him and everything. But I thought, because I know this has been a kind of a hot figure in discussion, and I purposely went out and got him tonight so you guys could. Usually I don't go pick up my figures or go to my comic shop until the weekends because I don't like to go out because there's a lot of traffic to get from my home to where I go. But I wanted to go specifically so you guys could get a chance just to see him in a little preview. So this is, guys, what I wanted to put to you, what I wanted to show you tonight. So I will be on next week for the unboxing show. So what I wanted to ask you guys tonight is kind of just some feedback and also to have you guys involved. Also, Zach, I would suggest if you're going to do for the code tonight for the Carnage CE edition, Knight, because we got Moon Knight, and I want to leave up to kind of a vote for the chat. Would you guys prefer to see Moon Knight, or would you like to see a certain Dark Knight get unboxed on next Monday? Both of the obviously this one's a little bit older, but I got Batman Beyond like I don't know, maybe like 3 weeks ago, a month ago. So I would like to know which one would you guys like to see more, because I want to unbox both of them. You're muted.
Sorry, I was talking the whole time. I said that's awesome. Let us know in the chat if you want Moon Knight or the Dark Knight. Whatever one you want, put it as the Carnage Collector's Edition giveaway bonus code for After Dark, but also just comment it on the live stream because that way we can know kind of what you guys want. There's 23 people watching, so let's get some live comments going. Lane, I don't want to keep you too much longer than I know you said you had to go around this time.
Yeah, so. I got a couple more minutes. So, guys, just to the chat real quick, this is a question I'll leave on, and maybe you guys can have a little bit of discussion with it before you kind of round out tonight. So, as we've seen, like this week, we had those Spider-Man announcements. We've had the Costa Reeves. We've had a lot of releases. Let's just say in like the last 30 days.
Yeah.
It's not like this is new. A lot of time, usually it feels like in the fall we get these cycles. So, how are you guys feeling right now? Chat and everything with the speed that we're getting the releases, because it does feel like Hot Toys is like trying to catch up, get a lot of stuff out. Are you guys enjoying this? Are you getting buried by it right now because you're just like, oh my god, maybe like it was mentioned, the park speeders might be coming, so you might, which are all waitlisted, but you might have a $450, $500 or more, $600 purchase, I guess, maybe for the heavy ordnance with the one with the pot on the back. That's why I said goodbye. I said no, not that much. How are you guys feeling on the Reese's? Are you feeling a little bit overwhelmed? Are you glad stuff's finally starting to come out, just so that you're working through some of your quote backlog of your list? Just how are you guys all feeling? And that's you guys as well as to chat.
I don't have a backlog. I think the only figure I have on pre-order is Gandalf, and I've already paid that off. I do think that Q3 2024, Q4 2024 is very busy. Same with
24 and 23.
23 and 24. Like it seems like everything that's
you
coming
mean
out
the
now.
end of 2023 and early 2024, like the end of this year and early this year.
like it seems like all the new figures that we're seeing are
Yeah.
Q3 2024 next year, Q3 to Q4, and a lot of figures from last year are this, kind of where we're at right now, right? The last few months of the year.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of stuff. I think really, if you have stuff on pre-order that's not paid off, you really got to take a look and see what is as
Or you have
expected to come
payment
out.
plans, like how much are you
Yeah.
spending on payment plans right
And
now?
the thing that's kind of crazy, Lane, and you've experienced this, is it's not like it used to be last year or the year before, where Appo comes out in Hong Kong and like, okay, like probably about 2 or 3 months it's gonna be here. It's like we're
Most a
getting that
couple
shit.
weeks.
No,
If
yeah,
that.
most. It's more like we're getting it. Oh, it's shipping this week. There's not even blogger pictures up. So there's even stuff, Lane, I think that you've gotten in hand
First
before like
Trooper.
Justin has been able to show a video.
Trooper.
So
Or about the
Yeah.
same time.
yeah,
I mean,
It's
like
crazy.
just to put it in situation for myself. Now, I made the distinct thing that I pay off a lot of my figures early. Like I only have like on off the racks, pretty much my Fennec and Costco were already paid off, so it's just they're getting shipping. I'm not spending any money out of them right now. But like if I hadn't, I would be so toast because I had this guy, I had Casca, I have Fennec just shipped to me today, I think. So she's on the way. And then I made the silliness like buying Batman Beyond. So that was something I never had planned for. But I think I'm going to be a little bit better after I get past this thing. But if I have the, have the BARC speeders coming, that's a whole thing. I mean, if I didn't have that, that's a minimum $510 figure thing. So, I mean, I almost bought like the President Loki because I just loved how it looked so much, even though I don't really have a connection to the show. I just thought the figure, and now I'm kind of glad I didn't do that. Like, do I want to buy a figure? There's only one figure that I can get it, I'm going to get it that I don't have in pre-order because I need to have one, is the Book of Boba Fett. Like, that's the one that if I can get a chance opportunity, I'm going to buy it because I need that.
Yeah. Lane, I'm actually, I actually usually do partially, or at Sideshow I do their payment plan, so I have things kind of stretched out. So I'm not really overwhelmed because the things are pretty much most. I think just about all of my partially pre-orders, except for maybe 5, are completely paid off. I haven't done any more recently, and the ones that I have for Sideshow, they're starting to do the payment plan. So it kind of gives me an indication that maybe it might be scheduled for, or it may be preparing for release. So I'm actually kind of glad about it because I have forgotten how slow things were during the pandemic, and now things seem to be speeding up on their releases, and it's a little crazy to get used to, but I'm kind of liking it. I'm kind of liking having some new things to look at and open up and have some fun with it.
I understand how you feel because I am kind of in the same realm because like I have only one item I'm doing payment plan because all my other stuff is on payment plan. It hasn't started yet, but like I'm not spending more than 100. Like I have a specific thing, and I don't know, maybe just for like maybe other smaller scale or something, because I know sometimes you like to buy more of that stuff. Zach, like I haven't had more than $100 going on payment per month. So like I've got Bane coming. Like I have Bane on pre-order,
right?
And I've got Super Battle Droid. Both of those guys are on payment plans that aren't going to start. And the only other one that I have currently right now is the Mark III, the Mark III 2.0, which I have. This would be the last payment, so I'm going to pay that off this month. And then there'll be those two. And like, so sometimes I'm able to max out. If you tell me most of the time, no, definitely not. But I just was interested in people how we're feeling because as sometimes happens, we get hit by that Chinese New Year for sometimes it feels like forever, where nothing's coming. Sometimes almost for like 2.5 months. And then you had the pandemic, which had slowdown and this and that happening. And now, do you think though? And this will be my thought. Then I need to go. Maybe we're kind of in that last catch-up mode because there was like the WandaVision figure, all that stuff was backed up. Do you think it'll be like a year now or something like that?
They've pushed the buck back too much on a lot of things. I think, like if you look, I don't know the numbers off the top of my head, but if you look at the pre-order versus what's in stock,
yeah,
it's a lot. Like I think they're gonna have to be very frantically catching up over the next year or so.
Ooh, boy.
I think they've really dug themselves in a hole, to be honest.
Well, so they haven't either. Like Prime One, they can't seem to ever get any statues out, and that's what I said. I would like I was complaining about. I want a statue to come out because other than I've been waiting for a while. I'm like, bro, I just don't want to get hit by like 2 statues. I have to spend like $1,500 and $1,000 all at the same time. It's one thing where I have one come and another one's 2 or 3 months later when they're that expensive. But what can you do?
The thing is, like most weeks, they're putting 2 or 3 things up for pre-order and only releasing one, and it's been like that for a while. So it's just caught up with them eventually. Lane, thanks for coming on tonight. We're actually about to wrap this up as well, but do you want to plug where you're going to be this week?
I will be on Hot Toys Hotline tomorrow night. I also want to do just a shout out everybody who was in here who caught Aries. I know we competed a little bit with, of course, always the wonderful Collecting Weekly on Monday night, but for showing up and everybody showed up for the show for Aries, Six Sail Cantina coming back after he had some stuff pop up about a month ago and welcoming him back and everything. I wanted to take anybody who was here in chat who did at least catch out some of that show before, of course, joining an unboxing later that evening. It was much appreciated. But I'll be on Hot Toys Hotline tomorrow night. And then obviously I will be here next Monday.
Hell yeah, baby. Always welcome. Have a good night, Lane. We'll
Take
talk
care.
to you later, bud.
Thank you, guys. Later, and everybody have a good night. And don't forget to enter the Carnage contest.
There we go. Bonus code NIGHT from the Midnight Collector. So let's just, we'll wrap this up quickly. So
tell me your resin story before we go, though.
Yeah. So, God, where is my damn tab? I'm trying to find these tabs. So, in the comics, I'll be honest, I don't read like a ton of modern comics, but in the older comics, Spider-Man would always have this like sort of spider sense effect where it's like half masked, half unmasked. I want to say they've done it even with the black suit somewhat recently, and even just in comics somewhat recently. And I like that look. Now, I just picked up on eBay a second civilian Peter Parker, and that figure comes with an unmasked head and then a half unmasked head. It's awesome. But my favorite figure is, hang on, let me just do this the way I normally do it. One of my favorite figures is the symbiote suit. So I was like, oh, I'll just paint it white. Right? And I did that, and I was like, this looks terrible because it has this huge divot where the red suit has the black outline, then the white in the middle. And I was like, I don't like that. That looks stupid. Like, the portrait looks great, but that just looks stupid. And I'm thinking, like, I could put some sculpting putty, smooth it out, and try to sand it, but then it's going to mess up the it's like not really plastic. It's almost like a rubber material that doesn't sand well. And I'm like, well, I could do this, I could do that. And I had just, like, I use UV resin a lot for repairs because I 3D print in UV resin. This is a little bit more viscous. It's like real thick. It's almost like a honey.
Yeah.
This is more for like making jewelry, but for some 3D printed stuff, for example, the bases that I do, they're stone. They're printed in plastic, and then I coat them in UV resin and then nuke them with UV, and it basically smooths that out. Instead of sanding it, it smooths it out real naturally.
Okay.
So I was like, what if I put a tiniest drop of UV resin in that inset and then use a Q-tip and basically just level it out with the shape of the eye and then just nuke the whole thing with light. And it turned out fucking amazing. This is what it turned out. it's not going to show up because it's so dark and then so light, but it worked perfectly.
Oh, yeah, it did.
Oh, wait. Yeah, it worked absolutely perfectly. So, really happy with that.
Now you're going to try to do the little wiggly line showing the tingling.
I have a 3D print for that. It's a pain in the ass print, so I don't think I'll do that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's probably not, but I don't know. I thought I was like, yes. It took like 2 seconds too, because you put that stuff on, and then I popped like 2 bubbles, and then I nuked it for like a minute, and I was just pretty much ready for paint. Once it's set, like you can paint right over it right away. So,
Oh man.
happy little victory there. One more thing, I know we talked about it yesterday on After Dark, but look at these, Thomas, for OxCon. We just got the sticker proofs done. These are going to be like holographic glitter.
Man, that is so cool.
Crazy. Yeah, I'm so excited. So those, I'm not quite sure if they're going to be... It just depends how many people show up, because it seems like there's going to be a lot, but if we have enough to send any out for the Patreons or whatever, and I'll make sure that you get one as well.
Oh, that'd
well,
be
actually, you are a
great,
Patreon, so hopefully I'll be able to send you one as well. But we're at the hour mark. I think we lost about half our viewers, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and cut this off, Thomas, because I want to rest my voice a little bit for tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely.
And yeah, I'm hacking up a lung here every few minutes. So remember, guys, the bonus code for tonight is night. However you want to spell that, N-I-G-H-T or K-N-I-G-H-T.
K-N-I-G-H-T.
Yeah, you get a bonus code for the Carnage giveaway by doing that. And appreciate you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed all my trials and tribulations. There's one more thing, but I'll save it for next week. Because, well, let me preface it, and we'll talk about it next week. Just briefly. We went to a baseball game, Thomas.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And we filled out some, it was like win a Yeti cooler. And they called me and I was like, oh my God, I won. They're like, no, you didn't. I'm like, okay, why are you fucking calling me?
Psych.
They're timeshare people, right, Thomas? Like they sell timeshares. And I'm not an idiot, so I'm not going to buy a timeshare. No offense to anyone that has one. But they're like, if you come to our showroom, 0 commitment, we will give you any of these vacation packages. No commitment. You don't have to bring a debit card. Like there's no money down. Nothing. You only have to pay like a small taxes. It's like $60. If you claim when you use it, it's just because with our state rules, they can't. You have to pay the taxes. Just I don't know, just how it is. But I was like, no commitment, eh? So Sunday, I'm going to this thing, and I will update you guys on Wednesday if it's legitimate.
Yeah, definitely.
But if I go, some of the things they said were like, you go on a cruise, we'll fly you to whatever. But my wife is pregnant, so I know we're not going to go after the baby's born. I don't want to go while the baby's in utero. Mm-hmm. And I also don't want to deal with like kenneling my dogs, and then are we taking the kid with us? Like, so I was like, well, what kind of vacations do you have? And they're like, oh, we have some staycation packages. I was like, tell me about that. So it's 3 days, 2 nights in a hotel on the Riverwalk in San Antonio, and everything's paid for. So I was like, bro, all I gotta do is listen to some idiot talk for 90 minutes. I'm an idiot that talks like every day for 90 minutes on YouTube. So I could sit through that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I'm not gonna buy anything, but you guys send me to the Riverwalk for 3 days, 2 nights for my whole family. Like, absolutely. So, it's we'll update you guys. Equine says they're gonna lock you in there until they submit. Well, they're gonna have to reach the blick at that point, coming locked and loaded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about that, Equine. When you got 9mm on your hip, you don't gotta worry about that. Anyway, so worst case, I waste 90 minutes. Best case, because we're thinking like, well, right before Vivi gets back to school, we can use this little vacation, sort of like a last hurrah, just the 3 of us, before the baby's born in December. So
yeah,
it should be fun. It should be fun. But we'll update you guys. But yeah, Thomas, thank you for joining me tonight. I know, with Dean out of commission, it's nice to have another person, because Lane had to leave early as well, and I don't want to be talking by myself.
Well, I'm glad to be here, and then when next time you touch base with Dean, tell him I'm asking about him, and I hope he's doing well.
Yeah. So
yeah,
I don't want to give. you know, I don't know what he wants out there, what he doesn't want out there. He did tell me he's feeling a lot better. It's just a little hard for him to be sitting for long periods of time. So, but he's okay. He's not. Fern said he was dead. I got a lot of very concerned messages. He's not dead. He's very much alive. He's just dealing with an injury. And when he comes back, he said he'll tell us the full story and sort of what he's been going through. So, hoping he'll be back on Monday. But you know, worst case, the show must go on.
Yeah.
But,
Well, I'm sending him healing energy right now. So.
look at this. Loved having Classy Thomas on the show. Have him more even when everyone's back. I love Thomas. Thomas is
I'm
Thomas
glad
one of the
to
nicest
be
people I've
here.
ever met. Sean Forster says, "Good luck with that, Zach. I'm looking forward to the recap." Equan says it's not just 90 minutes. It's 90 minutes plus when they break you out into groups and lock you in a room or corner after. That's where the pain really starts. Well, I'm not too concerned, Equan. I'm really not. They said 90 minutes. Even if it's 180 minutes, bro, if I'm getting 3 days, 2 nights, all expenses paid, bro, I'll sit through that. Y'all sit through longer shows for us, so I figure I could do it for a vacation. But anyways, worst case, I'm just gonna dip the fuck out. Love you guys. Look at that. Thomas is the GOAT. Wow, they really love you, Thomas. Go hang
I
on.
love you guys too, man. Yeah.
Yeah, Fern. People were very concerned, Fern. I don't know why you would joke about that. Let me drop the link to your channel real quick. Let's see here, and then we'll let everybody go for the night.
Yeah. I'm gonna work on trying to tomorrow. I'm carving out some time to finish that finish my editing so I can go ahead and get that collection tour on the. It's going to be a long one, but
There you go.
hopefully you'll be entertained because
Yeah. Thomas. Okay, we got 18 people watching. Thomas has 23 subscribers. If you click this link and subscribe to his channel, just use code SpongeBob, and that's another bonus code. We'll try to get you some subs tonight.
awesome. Yeah.
We'll do it again next Wednesday. We'll
Okay.
remind me if I forget.
Okay.
And don't be embarrassed to remind me because I'll do it again. But let's get Thomas some subs. So Thomas is one of the best people in the community, and we need to show my man some love. But yeah, that's his link. Subscribe. Fill out the bonus code. I already got you 1 subscriber. That's great.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll catch you next week. Worst case, you'll see me on TV as a man that was held against his will at this goofy ass thing.
I'm just envisioning you pulling out that little gold thing off your hip and just saying,
Yeah,
not 1 minute longer. Okay.
I'm like, look, man, if I accidentally, just show it, it's not really brandishing, is it? If I happen to yawn in it and they see I have a little
What is
keep
this
that
on
thing
my
on you.
hip?
There you go. All right, well, we got you some subs so far. Let's leave it at that.
All right.
Go check out Tom's. Actually, just 2 seconds, I promise. Because I've been saying SpongeBob SquareBalls, Thomas.
Uh-huh.
All right, this is a little adult story, Thomas. So
All
bear
right.
with me. I was looking at porn the next day, and there was. Let me see if I can find the name of it. I was like, it has to be because I'm saying SpongeBob SquareBalls. And I took a screenshot and I was gonna send it to you. SpongeBob Square Nuts.
What?
That's a real porn. I think that's what it's called. Maybe that's not what it's called.
Man.
But I guess because we've been saying that.
Your computer, Google heard you and is
My
trying to
phone
pull
heard
you.
me, bro. It was wild.
Oh man.
Anyway, so SpongeBob. It's Sponge Knob Square Nuts.
Oh, that's even worse.
So Thomas, you may have done something there. I don't know.
Oh boy.
Anyways, go sub to Thomas. He's a great guy. We'll catch you on the next episode, guys.
All right. Evening. Peace out.
Yeah, let me hit my button there. Bye.